Okay. Good evening, everybody. It is 6 p.m. Welcome to the council meeting of March 4th. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance, led by Councilmember Hilton. If you'd please stand.
Ready? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we do not have an invocation today, so everyone can be seated. City Clerk's report on posting the agenda, followed by roll call.
The agenda was posted on March 1st at 2:20 p.m. On attendance, Councilmember Armendariz.
Here.
Councilmember Bracco.
Here.
Councilmember Klein.
Here.
Councilmember Hilton.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Marks.
Here.
Councilmember Tovar.
Here.
And Mayor Blankley.
Here.
All present.
Thank you. Under orders of the day, we have none. Under 1.7, employee introductions, Community Development Director Sharon Goey has a promotion and a new hire, I believe. Yeah, or two. Okay, sorry.
Good evening, Mayor, Council members, and members of the community. I'm very glad to share with you about two staff advancements in the Community Development Department. First, we have Erin Freitas. She joined as a planner too. She has over 6 years of experience in urban planning, and she has worked on a very large variety of projects. We have promoted her to a senior planner, so please join me in congratulating Erin.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Sharon. And yeah, I'm really excited about this new promotion, and I've really enjoyed working for the city over the last year, and looking forward to growing in this new role. So thank you.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
And next, we have Mariah Magonda. She joined as an office assistant. She has performed a variety of functions related to our department administration. We have promoted her to a management assistant. So please also join me in congratulating Mariah.
Hello, thank you. Thank you, Sharon. I'm excited for this opportunity and to continue to grow with the city. I'm really excited for this new position.
Congratulations. Thanks. Okay, that brings us to ceremonial items. We have two. Is Sophia Fojas here? Okay, come meet me at the podium. Try this without my glasses.
Are you sure?
This one. Okay, I'm going to read this proclamation, and then you can say a few words if you like. This is for Youth Arts Month. Whereas the Council for Art Education administers Youth Art Month on a national level, and thousands of schools participate. And whereas the Santa Clara County Board of Education has recognized March as Youth Arts Month and is committed to supporting the arts to inspire and prepare students for success in the 21st century and allowing them to develop as productive, contributing members of a strong community. And whereas we share the vision of ensuring that students have access to high-quality arts education that is culturally relevant and inclusive in all forms as part of a comprehensive education that sparks curiosity, imagination, creativity, and joy. Studies have proven that arts learning strategies and arts integration help teachers to recognize and build upon critical thinking skills, curiosity, flexibility, communication, innovation, and collaboration, and are the traits required for post-secondary and workplace success. And whereas each March, arts education is celebrated in local schools, school districts, community arts organizations, and larger communities. Now, therefore, I, Marie Blankley, Mayor of the City of Gilroy, on this 4th day of March 2024, along with my colleagues on the City Council, do hereby proclaim the month of March 2024 as Youth Arts Month. Yay, you can clap. Okay. Would you like to introduce yourself and say a few words?
Yes.
We'll do a picture.
Hello. Thank you, Mayor Blankley and members of the Gilroy City Council for your support of arts education in our schools by presenting Youth Arts Month proclamation tonight. My name is Sophia Fojas. I'm the Arts Coordinator for the Santa Clara County Office of Education, and I lead Artspiration, SCCOE's Arts Education Initiative. In my role, I support districts implementing a comprehensive arts education, co-manage the Arts Ed Connect grant to teachers with SV Creates and conduct the Young Artist Showcase, which houses the largest collection of the youth arts of any county office in the state. So on behalf of the Santa Clara County Office of Education, and as a child myself, who learned the violin in the 4th grade and became a music teacher in the public schools, thank you for recognizing March as Youth Arts Month in Gilroy.
Can we get a picture with Michelle? That.
Yep.
Right there.
Thank
That's
you.
for you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
My son plays violin, by the way. He started in kindergarten, though.
Okay.
Okay. The next one is for the American Red Cross. Camille McCormick. Oh, there you are. Okay. Camille? Okay. Whereas the city of Gilroy has a long history of helping our neighbors in need, American Red Cross Month is a special time to recognize and thank our heroes, those Red Cross volunteers and donors who give all their time and resources to help community members. And whereas these heroes help families find shelter after a home fire, they give blood to help trauma victims and cancer patients. They deliver comfort items to military members in the hospital. They use their life-saving skills to save someone from a heart attack, drowning, or choking. They enable children around the globe to be vaccinated against measles and rubella. And whereas across the country and around the world, the American Red Cross responds to disasters big and small. In fact, every 8 minutes, the organization responds to a community disaster, providing shelter, food, emotional support, and other necessities to those affected. It collects nearly 40% of the nation's blood supply, provides 24-hour support to military members, veterans, and their families, teaches millions life-saving skills such as lifeguarding and CPR, and through its Restoring Family Links program, connects family members separated by crisis, conflict, or migration. And whereas we dedicate the month of March to all those who support the American Red Cross mission to prevent and alleviate human suffering in the face of emergencies. Our community depends on the American Red Cross, which relies on donations of time, money, and blood to fulfill its humanitarian mission. Now, therefore, I, Marie Blankley, Mayor of the City of Gilroy, on this 4th day of March, 2024, along with my colleagues on the City Council, do hereby proclaim the month of March, 2024, as American Red Cross Month. Yay! Clap again. You want to say? Yeah.
I will be brief, but Gilroy was authorized by the National American Red Cross August 21st, 1917, to be an official chapter. And 107 years out, it's still navigating. And thank you. Thank you.
There you go. Okay. Time is over. Okay, everyone, that brings us to item 3 on the agenda, which is council correspondence, but we have none. So item 4, presentations to the council. This is the time for anyone who wishes to address the council on something that is not on the agenda. Do we have any speakers, Beth, on this item?
Yes, we do. There are 3.
Okay, so the city clerk will call your names, because I don't know why I'm not seeing them. So city clerk will call your names. If you could please all 3 come up to the front row, and then you'll take the mic in the order that you're asked, and you'll each have 3 minutes.
We have Jason Pratico. Second is Robert Zepeda. And then Tony Morados.
Okay, so I only see one person in the front row. Who was the first?
Jason Pratico.
Is there? Okay. You could please take the mic. Yeah.
Thank you.
Uh-huh. And the clock is right there.
Perfect. Is it working? Oh, perfect. Thank you, Ms. Mayor, City Council. I appreciate your time this afternoon. A little off topic, not the most positive thing after hearing the positive presentations you just provided. But within my time around the community of Luigi Apria Elementary, there's been several instances of public safety issues. There's been a bomb-making suspect that blew his hand off, a ghost gun manufacturer, an ex-community service officer on federal house arrest, a friend and neighbor murdered in front of his own house, and an elderly couple attacked. And now, in the events in the past week around Luigi Apria Elementary, during this time, not once have I seen a council member or the mayor come to our school or community just to show face. The community needs you guys now more than ever, especially around Luigi Apria. I have a great debt to the Gilroy Police Department for everything they've done and everything they've provided. They've hired some outstanding officers that put this whole puzzle together and solved this before Luigi Apria became another statistic across the nation. I'm asking you guys now to come to the community and help us to ensure that this villain and perpetrator doesn't come back into our community. That school is the center of our community. I came here to Gilroy. I love this city. I'm raising a family here. I'm a father to a student at that school. And we need you guys now, and we need your voice. What is your plan, and what action are you guys going to take to ensure that he doesn't come back? Thank you.
Okay, next speaker was it Robert Cepeda? Okay. And then followed by Tony.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. Happy Monday. I think I mentioned this before, but I'll mention it again, as I am known for repeating myself. After all, I do come here more than once. But anyhow, I always read the opinion piece on the Gilroy Life, which is, I believe, a free news for Gilroy residents. And the editorial and the most recent was titled "Propaganda Fake News Has No Place in South Valley Politics." Now, it was regarding an article that was distributed within Morgan Hill, Gilroy, and San Martin. Now, I personally did not read this article. I did see it at a well-known family member's home, but I didn't say, "Oh, let me take that," because that'd be strange. But anyhow, I read this article on the opinion piece regarding the article, and there was a few contradictions here. As for one, the publisher or whoever writes these articles, I notice they themselves engage in propaganda regarding whether it's climate change, the COVID, and even politicians such as Zoe Lofgren, who I see is being defended in this opinion piece. Now, Zoe Lofgren has been in Congress for 30 plus years, and what has she done for Gilroy? Because that's what she represents. She's in District 18, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, it says right here. And this is more of a favor towards, and I can't pronounce this candidate's name, Charlene Nahim, and from what I read, is a Morgan Hill resident. But regardless, we can all see that Zoe Lofgren has not done anything besides be a politician. She is the definition of a politician, someone who puts politics over people. And you can see that from her net worth. I mean, Congress makes, I believe, $178,000, and she's a millionaire. So that's all from insider stock trading. And, you know, one thing I like to mention is this gentleman here says democracy and then republic. Well, one, we are a constitutional republic, and I would hope that he would know that, but that's all I had to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Tony? And do we have any others? No, okay.
Good evening, Council. I, too, am a parent of Luigi Apria. I think we were spared by luck. sometimes you might want to refer to as divine right, intervention. A very, very tragic incident last week. And you all need to become part of the conversation. There was an individual last Monday who was on campus, off and on, back and forth, for an hour. He was staking our school. He was stalking our children. There's no doubt. Later, he was caught. Luckily, thank you to the police department, but luckily he was striking cars, drunk driving down Mentelli with a loaded AR-15. That should scare us all. This is no longer Mayberry. And we need to get serious about a lot of things. I love my neighbors. I know most of you on the council, and I respect all of you for your service. We really need to get serious about protecting the community. This isn't just a Gilroy Unified School District issue. The school district failed us in a different manner. This is a community issue, and we need action. Why weren't the police called earlier? There are peeping Tom laws in this state. This individual was looking through windows. He approached gates. He could have handed one of the kids a candy or something, and it turned out to be something horrible. We were spared. And it's a warning for us to get serious. And that's all I have to say.
Thank you. Thank you to all of our commenters. Okay, Jimmy, did you want to say something?
Thank you, Mayor. Normally, I probably would have given this part of the report during my city administrator report, but given that that's at the very end, I'll go ahead and do this now. We are currently working with GUSD to get some information out to the community tomorrow about this particular situation and how we communicate with the public when there is danger in their community. I can't speak to a lot what was said. Again, I was not familiar with how the school district did their process, but I know our process is very much rooted in best practices and ultimately protecting the safety of everyone in the community. And sometimes by not providing information, that does help with safety. So I think it's just a standard that Chief Espinosa has set to be transparent. And so we'll release some information tomorrow to let people know how and why we release information and when we don't. I think that will help a little bit with the understanding. And the second part is that I understand that the school district sent out something concerning the Mariposa Resiliency Center, which is in the second floor of the Neon Exchange, and they're doing a walk-in crisis support service. I think we all are parents up here, and so we get it. It scares the you-know-what out of me, too. I'm a dad, and so if you really feel like you need to talk to somebody or just have somebody to work through some of these things, please take a look at that. That's tomorrow night from 5 to 8, so that concludes my report. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, that brings us to reports of council members. Councilmember Bracco. Nothing to report. Councilmember Armendariz.
No committee reports, but I would like to acknowledge that March is International Women's History Month, where we get to celebrate the countless and continuous contributions of women from all over the world and how they, the vital role that women play in making success and the development of our families, our communities, and our world. Thank you.
Councilmember Marks.
Yes, Gilroy Gardens Board met last week. Gilroy Gardens 2024 season will be kicking off in just a few weeks. On March 16th, it is Member Day, and on March 17th, it is Gilroy Appreciation Day. You should have received your free ticket and your water bill that allows you to bring 5 other people with you to the park. The first operating public day is Saturday, March 23rd. Gilroy Gardens has another strong year of prom bookings with 2 corporate picnics in negotiations. Sales is looking at bringing back corporate affiliate ticket programs. Ticket pricing is increasing a bit, but bringing more value to the consumer. There will be a new Value Plus ticket that allows free parking from March to the end of September. Weather permitting, Lakeside should be functional by mid-April. On a disturbing note, Gilroy Gardens had a cyber attack on February 11th. However, the good news is there is no evidence that any data was breached or stolen as a result of this attack. Once Gilroy Gardens became aware of the attack, they began quarantine procedures outlined by their response protocol to mitigate the number of systems that were affected on the network. They contacted federal law enforcement and began working with third-party security experts to investigate the incident. Now, we will end on a positive note. Gilroy Gardens paid their EBITDA, which is their lease payment to the city. It's 10% of net income for the year, to the city for years 2021 and 2022. This check was in the amount of $628,000. In 2021, their EBITDA was $424,000. In 2022, $204,000. 2023 will be paid very soon. That's it.
Councilmember Hilton.
Thank you. From Silicon Valley Clean Energy, I want to highlight the EV charging incentives for new affordable housing. Last year, SVC launched a $7.5 million program to fund electric vehicle charging stations in new affordable housing developments and help advance equitable EV charging access for multifamily residents. Developments are to be built to exceed the state Cal Green Code minimums, are to be located within a community served by SVC Clean Energy, and that city, which is Gilroy, has adopted an EVI reach code for multifamily buildings. This is one of the programs that SVC has chosen to reinvest their profits back into the community to cover the gap in cost in order to build with existing reach codes. Thank you.
Councilmember Klein.
No report.
Councilmember Tovar.
No report tonight.
Okay, and I just want to say thank you to the Gilroy Chamber of Commerce for 2 events last week, their monthly breakfast and the ribbon cutting at Camino Coffee, 7th and Monterey, everybody. Downtown is growing. All right, consent calendar. We have 2 items. I'd like to start with public comment, opening the public comment on consent
What
calendar.
about item 6, Mayor?
Item 6 is the consent calendar.
Future council-initiated agenda items.
No, that should be moved to the end.
It's at 6 on my screen.
Well, that's an error. Yeah, that's the old system. It hasn't been moved. On our printed agendas, it's not.
Okay.
Mayor,
Okay. Yes.
could I ask that we pull 6.1 on the consent agenda? I would like to vote for them separately, if possible.
Okay.
Okay.
So we have a request by Councilmember Tovar to pull 6.1. And that leaves 6.2 to be voted upon. And again, there's no public comment? Clear. Okay, so closing public comment. So we can vote on 6.2, right?
It's not appearing on my screen. I only have 8.1. Okay.
Yeah, I had to go onto the city website because it's not appearing.
Yours is different, Mayor? Your screen?
My screen.
Mine was like a template, actually.
Yeah.
We only have 8.1.
Oh, yeah, no, I only have 8.1 too. I'm looking at my printed agenda. I printed the agenda and there it's not what's on the screen.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
We'll do a roll call vote.
yeah, we can do a roll call vote on
That'll be
6.2.
helpful.
I think we all know that it's
Yeah.
so what we're voting on is the final downtown parking management plan. And what Councilmember Tovar has pulled is the council-initiated agenda item policy. Okay?
Councilmember Rocco?
No.
Councilmember Armendariz?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Marks?
Yes.
Councilmember Hilton?
Aye.
Councilmember Klein?
Yes.
Councilmember Tovar?
Yes.
And Mayor Blankley.
Yes, so that's 6-1. Okay, 6.1, Councilmember Tovar?
Thank you. Yeah,
Something?
thank you for pulling that. Again, I'm going to reiterate what I said last week, and I was surprised it came back so quickly. But I'm going to reiterate that I just think that I'm going to vote no for this because I think it sets precedence here and it makes it more difficult for council members who want to bring up new agenda items. Just for me, it seems like a barrier for us to do that with all the legwork that is put into this. So I'm going to vote no again on this. So I just wanted to pull that for a separate vote.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, anyone else, or we will vote on this? Go ahead and do roll call.
Councilmember Rocco?
No.
Councilmember Armendariz?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Marks?
No.
Councilmember Hilton?
Aye.
Councilmember Klein?
Yes.
Councilmember Tovar,
No.
Mayor Blankley.
Yes, so that's 4-3. Okay, to adopt the policy. All right, item 7, regardless of what's on our screen, is bids and proposals. We have none. And item 8 is public hearings. We have none. Item 9 is unfinished business. We have none. Item 10 is introduction of new business. And that brings us to 10.1, which is the use of city-owned property for the installation and maintenance of the Highway 152 tree row plaque and monument. Not Sharon. It looks like Cindy.
Hi,
okay.
good evening. So I wanted to just give you a little bit of historical background on this application. Just as the highway beautification movement was getting underway, the city celebrated its first Arbor Day in 1930. And to welcome visitors from the West and travelers from the West, the Rotary Club, along with other civic organizations, including local Rotarians, Boy Scouts, Campfire Girls, and school children of all ages, planted 75 deodar cedar trees along this stretch of Hecker Pass Highway. The following year, an additional 65 trees were planted along this 1.3-mile stretch of Hecker Pass. And these trees are largely intact and healthy, except for a few that have been, demised over the years. This tree row is also on the National Register of Historic Places as of 2007. The Historical Society has been looking for a location to install a commemorative sign in a visible location to let the public know about the National Register and this historic row of trees. And they chose the location that's coming before you tonight because it's adjacent to a pedestrian trail, and it's also across from the historic Owsley Homestead, which was built in 1872. The Historical Society has partnered with the Mountain Charlie chapter of E. Clampus Vitus, otherwise known as the Clampers, who would design, install, and maintain this monument sign, which would have very little, if any, fiscal impact on the city of Gilroy. The location, the reason this is coming before you is because the location is on city property in the city right-of-way, and it is located at the southwest corner of Hecker Pass Road and Autumn Drive. Public Works has reviewed this application and recommended, in order to protect site distance, that the monument sign be installed at a minimum of 60 feet back from the intersection of the pedestrian trail and Autumn Way, along with minimum 3 foot from the edge of the trail pavement. And you can see the approximate location here. This sheet or this slide shows you what it would approximately look like, and it's very similar to the Standard Cedar School monument. So it's about 40 inches tall and 30 inches wide. That's the concrete monument. And then the plaque itself is 30 inches tall by 20 inches wide. The Planning Commission reviewed this application on February 1st and recommended approval, and city staff is now recommending approval by the City Council. And this concludes my report.
Okay, thank you. Any questions from council members? Councilmember Tovar?
Thank you. Thank you for that. Of course, I'm in favor of this, but just for my own sake, I know it's on city property. If something were to happen, let's hope not, that it's vandalized, graffiti, whatever it may be, the city will be responsible for cleaning that up, correct?
So the Historical Society has partnered with the
Right.
Clampers, and actually we have 2 members of the Historical Society here tonight that can confirm this, but they would go out and check on the monument sign and clean up any issues.
Okay. And I know it's 60 feet from kind of the road, right? So there's no concerns about a car hitting it or anything like that, right?
Yeah, so the location was chosen because of, site distance issues.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Anyone else? Anyone else? Questions? Okay, then public comment?
No public comment.
Move
Okay.
for approval?
Motion to approve.
Second?
Okay, motion made by Councilmember Armendariz and seconded by Councilmember Tovar to approve the request to install the Highway 152 tree row plaque and monument on city-owned property located at the southwest corner of Hecker Pass Road and Autumn Drive. Roll call.
Councilmember Braca?
Yes.
Councilmember Armendariz?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Marks?
Yes.
Councilmember Hilton?
Aye.
Councilmember Klein?
Yes.
Councilmember Tovar?
Yes.
Mayor Blankley?
Yes. All right, that passed unanimously. The next item is 10.2, appointment of a city representative for County of Santa Clara Housing and County Development Advisory Committee. And good, Sharon's going to explain to us how this came up. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor, council members, and members of the community. Tonight, we're going to recommend that council appoint a member and an alternate member to serve on this County Housing and Community Development Advisory Committee. So first, we'll talk about some background on the HOME program. HOME program stands for the Home Investment Partnerships Program. It is a federal grant program that is designed to provide affordable housing to low-income households. This program provides grants to states, metropolitan cities, urban counties, and consortia of local governments for new construction, acquisition, and rehabilitation of affordable housing. For local governments that would not otherwise qualify for funding on their own, which was the case for Gilroy, forming a consortium is a way for a local government to join with other units of local government to directly participate in the HOME program. So in 2014, that is what we did. The City Council authorized the City of Gilroy to enter into the County HOME Consortium with the City of Cupertino, Palo Alto, and the County of Santa Clara. This enabled the City of Gilroy to participate in the HOME program. In this consortium, the county serves as the representative for the consortium. They act in a representative capacity for all the members. They assume and maintain responsibility to carry out the program on the members' behalf. And now we'll look at the Santa Clara County Housing and Community Development Advisory Committee. And county staff calls this acronym HACDAC. So this committee for the urban county is a policy recommending body to the Board of Supervisors. The committee develops recommendations for the urban county CDBG program and HOME consortium. I want to explain a little bit about the urban county program. The county administers CDBG on behalf of the unincorporated areas of the county and also the cities that are not eligible for their own funding. So that's what the county calls the Urban County CDBG program. And with the formation of the HOME consortium, the county considers that CDBG program and the HOME consortium collectively as the Urban County program. That's why the county calls this committee the HACDAC for the urban county. In 2018, county amended the committee bylaws to reflect the updated composition of the committee, and they've made other technical updates too. And during this amendment, they added the HOME consortium members to the membership of the committee. So the resulting committee consists of 9 members. 1 member from the County Board of Supervisors that will serve as the chairperson, and 1 member of the City Council from each of the non-entitlement cities participating in that county, the Urban County CDBG program. This will consist of 5 members from the cities of Campbell, Los Altos, Morgan Hill, Saratoga, and the town of Los Gatos. And there will be also 1 member of the City Council from each of the jurisdictions participating in that HOME consortium. That will consist of 3 members from the cities of Cupertino, Gilroy, and Palo Alto. The committee bylaws state that each member shall have a term of 1 year and until a successor is appointed. Although the bylaws indicate 5 meetings per year, according to county staff, in practice, the committee has been meeting about once per year. And the committee did not meet in 2023 due to scheduling conflicts. It is expected that they were going to meet once in 2024. To research this committee, we had numerous communications and meetings with county staff. There are no records of Gilroy having, There are no records of Gilroy having a city representative on the committee. We learned from the county staff that Palo Alto is in the same situation. Since a possible committee meeting is being scheduled for spring 2024, staff recommends that the City Council appoint a member of the City Council to serve on this committee and also appoint an alternate member that may attend and vote when that member is unable to attend the meeting. And this table on the slide represents the committee information in the same format as the 2024 council member appointments to regional bodies that was approved in December. So staff recommendation for council is to appoint a member and an alternate member of the City Council to serve on this committee. And the next steps, after city staff notify county staff of the names of the city representatives, county staff will be organizing the committee roster and schedule a committee meeting. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Sharon. So to recap, 2014 is when the Gilroy City Council, the then Gilroy City Council, voted to join the Home Consortium. This entity, this group that has, how do I say this? Was it in 2018 that this particular group was formed? Is that what you said?
In 2018,
the county amended the bylaws.
Correct. In 2014, we joined the Home Consortium.
Right.
And in 2018, they added Home Consortium members to this committee.
So it's been since 2018 that Gilroy and Palo Alto, anyway, have not been included. Okay, and so it's come to our attention. There was no meeting in 2023. There maybe haven't been very many meetings before, but they intend to meet in 2024, and so we want to make sure we're part of that meeting, even if it is just one meeting. Okay, so that's where we are. Can I ask if anyone from the public wants to speak on this before I just go to, okay, do any council members still have questions on what this is? Okay, then we need to appoint somebody who can go, so the meeting is in the County Board of Supervisors offices, so it is up in San Jose. They didn't say if it's remote or if remote is possible, at least I didn't see.
It appears to be in person according to the bylaws, but then because of, the pandemic
so
kind of happened since 2018.
It may be something you have to attend in person, I don't know, but it's only one meeting they anticipate in the spring, and coordinating schedules is tough. I'd like to maybe start by just suggesting council member remarks. You have expressed interest, or no?
Yeah, I'm interested also. I served 3 terms on CDBG, so I know the process, and I work in San Jose, so it wouldn't be a big issue for me.
Yeah. Okay, so the two, then who would be the main and who'd be the alternate? Okay, all I want to ask is that whoever the rep is, please, you're representing the city council, not your own personal views on how something should go, right? That's what these are. It's supposed to be a representative of the city. So please, whoever that's going to be, keep that in mind as to what you're doing there. Okay? So Councilmember Marks, are you asking to be the alternate, or are you asking to... And Councilmember Armendariz, are you asking to be the main?
Sure.
Okay. So does anyone else have any suggestions? Okay. Then that's so we have, a motion to approve Councilmember Armendariz as our rep and Councilmember Marks as the alternate.
Second.
Okay. So can we have a roll call?
Councilmember Bracco?
Yes.
Councilmember Armendariz?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Marks?
Yes. Yes.
Councilmember Hilton?
Aye.
Councilmember Klein?
Yes.
Councilmember Tovar?
Yes.
Mayor Blankley?
Yes. Okay, 10.3, Santa Teresa Fire Station Operational and Financial Plan and adoption of a resolution amending the fiscal year 2024 operating budget by $350,000 for fire department overtime. Jimmy's going to give us this staff report.
Yes. Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'm going to do the report. It's not a very long slideshow, and then we'll have Chief Wyatt and our Assistant City Administrator, Leanne McPhillips, can probably answer some more of the detailed questions. But this has been a rather lengthy journey that we've been working on since last summer concerning how we can possibly staff and maintain service at the Santa Teresa temporary fire station. As you well know, we are now on year 24 of the identification that we will need a station out there. That's not news to anybody, and there's no argument about that. But for several reasons, including recessions and COVID, and primarily the Glen Loma project development, which hasn't produced the permanent fire station, it's caused delays to the implementation. We are still working with the Glen Loma Corporation to figure out how and when we will get the permanent station that is included in the property development agreement that the city has with the Glen Loma Corporation. And that's actually on your closed session tonight as well. So we'll continue having those discussions with council. The city had implemented back in 2019 or 2020 the Teak building, which used to be the recreation building out at the ranch site of Christmas Hill Park, to have a temporary facility that would house a two-person unit to serve during what we considered the peak hours at 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. And so that has been the minimum standard at that site for the last several years. And over time, that building has been improved. There's been some additions, some birthing areas improvements, showers, kitchen, to make it much more livable, as opposed to just an old, rundown recreation building, which is kind of what it was. The original concept, both operationally and financially, was to staff Santa Teresa when personnel was available, and if we could and had the funding to do it, staff it through the use of overtime and overtime cost. And initially, at the very beginning, the concept was somewhat successful. It met its goal of having 2 firefighters, paramedics out there for 8 hours. But over time, it had, and that did help reduce some response times and provided some coverage. But it didn't eliminate the need for a permanent station with permanent staffing. I think, again, that's something we can all agree on. But over time, that station's effectiveness has been reduced for many reasons. One, we've had many more firefighters who have been out on long-term work injuries. The sick leave use within the fire department has tripled in the past year compared to prior years, so we don't have as many people who can staff it. And then lastly, just a drastic increase in leaves resulting in higher overtime. So whenever we don't have the staff, we pay overtime, and that cost. And it not only is cost in financial, but it's also cost in physical and mental strain for the firefighters. And so we've kind of reached that point now where I think everybody has squeezed as much out of this station, and there's very little left to do. And the remaining staffing that we do have are having a hard time accepting that mandatory overtime because they're tired, simply. And so tonight we will discuss our plan going forward and the financial implications of that plan. The current model has proved to be unsustainable, and the definition of unsustainable in this example is that whatever you try to do in one category will not offset the issues you have in another category. So if you had a lot of money and you just wanted to throw money at this wouldn't stop the fact that the current workforce is overworked and that you can't work them anymore. And you could hire more personnel, but that would take numerous years, and it would also be a lot of time for them to build up to be able to staff that station. So the immediate solution is not there. And financially, all those options I just gave you, we don't have the finances to do that. So you have what I'd like to say at this time, a very unsolvable problem because you can't throw anything at it that will fix it. We are struggling right now to fill the minimum 9 staffing that is in our agreement with Local 2805 for for Sunrise, Las Animas, and Chestnut. So when you can't even staff those 3 stations without using a lot of overtime, you have no hope of staffing the 4th station, and that's where we're at right now. So the Santa Teresa station will be open regularly, not on overtime when staffing are available. So if we were able to get some of these folks out of the academy, some of these folks back from work injuries, things like that, and our staffing starts to elevate within our deployable firefighters, we have a much better chance of staffing that station. But until that occurs, we just don't even have the personnel. One of the issues that came about last summer is that there was a claim of a lack of transparency about when we decide to staff the station and when we don't. And that's something we really want to address going forward because we're telling you this is a problem we can't solve, but it's important that everybody knows what you can do and when you're going to do it. And so this is the criteria that we have established that would be at the discretion of the fire chief or their designee. For when that station gets what we would call upstaffed, and we would utilize overtime or mandatory overtime. And these are usually things that we've done somewhat in the past, and that's applicable state of emergency declaration, the local red flag warning, high wildland fire threat in South County area, that we've had over the past few years. Typically 4th of July weekend because of the fireworks and the fire danger with that, and of course the medical calls that you get associated with fireworks. Potential flood or other disaster due to a weather event or some other cause, and then public events or gatherings in which there is a significant concern for public safety. Some of our large events, we have to upstaff with public safety, fire, and police to make sure we have coverage. To staff that Santa Teresa, even temporary or permanent station, a few things need to happen. We need more deployable firefighters. We have added more positions over the last few years, but we've decreased the amount of staffing that can actually work because they're physically able to do so. That number has to go up. So you either need to add more personnel that offsets the increase in non-deployable, or get those who are typically deployable back to where they can work. Decreasing the number of firefighters on industrial leave and amount of sick leave usage, and increasing the number of overall fire personnel by hiring additional firefighters, which should increase the number of deployable personnel. As we had mentioned to council before, we have moved up the hiring of the 2 additional firefighter personnel in 2025 to this year, so we were already engaging in that. We're a little bit ahead of that process. The Santa Teresa Fire Station cannot be staffed primarily on overtime. It can be supplemented just like the rest of our stations, but it needs permanent staffing that are there the entire time, and then when one of them is not able to work, or they're sick, or they have a vacation, then you pay the overtime. But you cannot start from a position of overtime to staff a fire station. We've shown in the last 8-9 months that it's just not sustainable. Regular staffing not on overtime serves the station as part of the regular permanent assignment, not when we have carryover personnel or mandatory overtime. And so that's something that is a fact for us when we think about staffing that station. The city is going to have to identify a dedicated funding source to offset the cost of additional firefighters. We believe that perhaps an amount of deployable firefighters at 45 would be a better amount than what we have right now, but that is going to have considerable cost. And as you saw in the 5-year forecast that our finance director gave you last council meeting, it is not in the 5-year forecast. We need some kind of help. Staff will be bringing back to council in the next month or two a recommendation to move forward with a ballot measure that would dedicate a portion of sales tax revenue to public safety. And so there would be a dedicated funding source that would be adequate to fund staffing and infrastructure, because we also have some infrastructure issues. And we can put that to the public to see if that's something they would support. But we'll work through council with that over the next few months. The other option, and we've mentioned this in previous staff reports, is that we are a small fire department, and that is great, and it's also not great at times. It's great because we know our firefighters, the community knows their firefighters, but the bench is not very deep. When you have a very, very large organization and you have an increase in work injuries and things like that, you can offset that because you have a lot more people to pull them. We don't have that. And so it's probably time for us to look at our options on seeing if we can expand our services in the region in general, because in some instances we're doing that already. When CAL FIRE is not able to staff certain stations in the area, our personnel end up taking a little bit of that load, and so maybe it is time to just start seeing what are our options. I don't think anybody has to commit or say this is what we need to do. We just don't know, and we don't know what's out there, and until we do, we should look at a regional approach. We have the South Santa Clara County Fire District, and we also have the City of Morgan Hill, which are natural partners to discuss regionalization with, and we can get a gauge on their interest in such a process. Possible long-term solution. We should not only be talking about the 4th fire station, we should be talking about the 5th fire station too, because most of us will not be here in 24 years, and I hope that we can save others from some of the challenges that we've had, but we need to start thinking long-term. And this city is going to continue to grow, and the commercial properties and all those things on the east side are going to demand some public safety services. We did just recently inquire with Local 2805 to see if they're willing to have these discussions about regionalizations, and we'll wait for their response and let the council know what we could do. They are in a closed contract right now, so we would need their agreement to do so. The second part of this is the budget shortfall. We are looking for approval from council to supplement the fire overtime budget by $350,000. And 200,000 will come from the modular building that was approved, but we have scrapped because of the almost $1 million estimate to get the land ready. And so we have savings of that. We put more money into the teak building, make it better, and we're going to do some fencing and some perimeter security things out there to make it even a little bit better. But it is much better than it was. And then we would ask for a one-time use of $150,000 from the general fund balance. That $350,000 is estimated to complete the year based on the new staffing plan and the criteria that I showed you before about wildland fire days, 4th of July events, any national or local emergencies. But at the end of the day, this gives us an overtime budget of $1.6 million. And starting July 1st, that $1.6 million in the budget gets reduced to $700,000. So we're going to have another challenge if we do not reduce some of the overtime use. And that can be accomplished when we get those 2 firefighters hired and through the process. We get people out of the academy and we get our deployable workforce back up to a level that can support the third and the 4th fire station. So that's the financial request we have for you this evening. The next steps, if the amendment is approved, staff will record the transfers and appropriation increases, and any other direction that council gives will be implemented. The recommendation is to receive the report, provide any feedback direction as necessary, and then to adopt the resolution making the budget change that will go directly into the fire budget for fire overtime expenditures. That concludes my report. I'd be happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Thanks, Jimmy. I don't see any if you guys are on there, I'm not seeing you, but I'm going to just go ahead and ask a question, and then I'll go
I'm
over
going
it.
to take these from here so Chief Wyatt and Leanne can hop up with you.
Okay. You're going to come back here, but you just answer the question. Okay. So I am really happy to see, to me, this report gives us the transparency I think we're looking for in terms of what specifically is the criteria that we're using when we staff a certain station over another station. What I would like to know is if council approves this item here, would the reporting continue that we've been getting that lets us and the public, it's not just reporting that you've been giving to the council, but it goes out in the city's weekly express too. Maybe it goes down to monthly, but whatever it is, I'm asking, would that kind of reporting continue so that everybody is aware of how stations are being staffed within the confines of the deployable staff that are available to staff them?
Yes, Madam Mayor, that will be ongoing. And if council directs us to go ahead with a ballot measure, we're in a position where we can't campaign for it, but we can provide information, and that would be a good forum for the public to know that that station wasn't staffed on these days because of X, Y, and Z, and that if we had the funding, then we would be able to staff it.
Exactly.
So it'll be a continuing informational, and we found it to be helpful for people who ask, what happened that day or what's going on. That'll continue.
Right, and in addition to that, correct me, I'm asking, we are we not, continuing to press the county's medical response, because we do have a contract with the county for transport, and when they don't respond within a reasonable period of time on a contract that they are obligated to respond on, then our own firefighters get stuck in a particular situation when they should be freed up to go to another. Correct? So we are pushing.
Yes.
In the meantime, that's another avenue we have available to us to help our own staff be available for us. Yeah.
The county EMS does know our predicament, particularly down here in South County. They know that by sending us BLS ambulance, basic life support ambulances, they put us in a really tight bind, because what that forces us to do is to give up one of our firefighters, the firefighter medic,
exactly,
to transport the patient to the hospital if their acuity is high enough to warrant that. They understand that, and I will just say that they have been working to increase the number of paramedics, but there's no guarantee with the system the way it is right now. Quite frankly, it's broken.
Right, but we're doing what we can.
Yes.
That's the point.
And to another point, part of what we're already working on throughout the county is what's known as the Nurse Navigator Program. I brought that up before, but that's where the low acuity calls, where they require a BLS ambulance or basically a non-transport. Eventually, we can have the point where we're not even dispatched on those calls. So by reducing that sort of
I won't say problematic call, but calls in which our services aren't really needed, we are reducing the number of times that will be taken out of service.
Okay, thank you. All right, Councilmember Tovar?
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor. Chief, and maybe for you and for Jimmy, so about maybe a year ago, I had asked if we were being proactive in regards to looking for grants. As you know, the FEMA grant, there's that SAFER grant, obviously, and since, September of 2023, they've awarded over $360 million to 177 different cities. For example, Merced just got almost $9 million in September, and Santa Rosa got $7 million. Salinas just got $5 million. Can you remind me why we have not, we did not apply for any of these grants?
Well, we didn't apply any for these grants recently, but we did apply for them in 2020 and 2021. And in both cases, we were denied because, quite frankly, we weren't laying off people. And that's primarily who they've been awarding these SAFER grants for.
Can I interject, Councilmember? Because I remember you asking this question, right? But what I remember the answer was that because we were actually hiring, that we did not qualify. We weren't, as you said, laying people off. We were instead growing, albeit slowly, but still growing, and that's why we were denied. That's the answer I recall.
Okay, we were denied back in 2021, but now we're in 2024. I understand what you're saying. But, again, if we're going to go out for a ballot measure, obviously, I was hoping that we were going to exhaust every resource possible because, again, to go to the public and say, it's going to be an increase in sales tax, I want to be able to say we've tried everything possible, right? And to say that we haven't applied for this grant in 3 or 4 years makes no sense to me. So I understand what you're saying. Again, we're at a point where we need to start looking at different avenues, different pathways, whatever it may be. Because we got denied in 2021 doesn't mean we should just throw in the hat. Do you follow what I'm saying? It's frustrating that we're not taking advantage of things like this, where Salinas just got, $5 million, Merced $9 million. I mean, we should be somewhere in there.
So I'd like to hear if we, in fact,
please.
haven't been taking advantage of something that we could be taking advantage of.
I think the issue with the SAFER grant, too, is we work with the federal government, and they discourage us from applying. So we don't put the time and effort into it when we're already being told from the beginning that you're not laying people off, you're not competitive in these grants. It's just not been something that we've wanted to invest in time and money in. When we're being told from the front, it's not a good idea to apply.
Okay.
Has the criteria changed on these grants in the past couple of years? Do we know?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay. See, isn't part of the problem...
Councilmember Marks?
Isn't part of the problem, though, are the number of people we have on workman's comp? Because we're carrying them on the payroll, and
are you using a cell phone? Can you not use the cell phone during the meeting?
Well, I'm trying to turn it off, obviously. Thank you. So, Councilmember Tober, I understand where you're coming from, and I'm just wondering, is that working against us? The number of people that we have on workman's comp are showing that they're employees on our payroll. We're not laying off anybody. Our numbers are there. We just can't use them, so to speak. Am I on the right track here? Is that the logic that the government's using and why they're not giving us the grant? I'm hearing crickets right now. Is that a possible answer to that question? Because we're not laying off, but we're not hiring because our numbers show that we have all the staff we need, but we don't have them deployable because they're injured. This is like chicken and the egg.
Councilmember Marks, I've never heard that as being a criteria or a reason why not. There's a lot of criteria, and the one other thing to remember about SAFER grant, it only provides funding for 3 years, so they also want to see that you have the ability to sustain that, but I've never heard of any criteria along those lines.
You mean, okay, I don't understand. What criteria were you not hearing?
I believe you asked about workers' compensation and absences.
Well, I'm just saying, is that why we're not being looked at? Because our numbers show that we have, how many, 45? How many,
Yeah,
or 39?
We have 38 people,
38 people, okay.
38 budgeted positions. We're adding 2 more early, and so we're basically looking at 40 positions.
Right.
So we're not laying off people, we're hiring more people.
And that's what I'm trying to get to, is that we have the 40 positions, but in reality, we really don't have the 40 positions because we can't staff 4 stations.
Yeah. Right now, we have 30 deployable people. We have 7 people on I'm sorry, it was 29. We have 7 people on either injury leave or family leave, and we have 1 person in training, so we have 29 deployable people.
Yeah, see, that's where we're getting stuck.
It is, but I think what you're asking, if I'm understanding correctly, is would it make a difference in our ability to qualify or to be competitive with a grant if we said in the application that, I think this is what you're asking, I'm not asking this, but that you're asking, is there a place in there to say, yeah, we're hiring, but we have this many people out on leave and this many people out on workers' comp, and that's why we're asking for money? I doubt it.
Yeah, I've never used that argument before.
Yeah, I don't think that, I think that would come back to us as to why is that.
The argument we
Yeah.
used before, back in 20 and 21, was that we were trying to put a new station into, establish a new station. And at the time, we were hiring people, so the grant is very competitive. They get over 7,000 applicants, and they award roughly about 1,500 of those. So there's a significant number of cities that are in poor financial shape and are actually laying people off. So that's who the grants have been going to.
All right, second question. Sorry.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Sorry. Thank you for that. And as we all know, I mean, the issue obviously here is, taxing of our firefighters, right? And again, just kind of looking at every possible option here. Obviously, I'm going to be in favor of this, and also in regards to the ballot measure as well. But Chief, educate me. Do we have a volunteer firefighter program?
We do not.
Why not?
We gave up that program when we went through the series of layoffs back in the downturn of, I want to say, 2008. And it was called the Paid Call Program. Okay. Because we went from 4 firefighters per engine down to 3. And I can't tell you all the reasons why, but it was felt that this was the paid call program was being used as a replacement for the paid firefighters. So, and in addition to that, the program manager position became untenable, meaning that it wasn't funded. So the program was eliminated.
Okay, so thank you for that explanation. And maybe I kind of see it the opposite way. I thought maybe it would be a way of assisting our firefighters. And the reason I bring this up is, again, sorry, I'm all about grants. So there are grants out there as well that will fund volunteer firefighter programs. So if the need is to help our firefighters, again, these aren't going to be those frontline folks, but they're going to be folks who can assist our firefighters. I just don't see why we would not kind of pursue those grants as well.
Yeah, we've explored that possibility. I'll just say this, it's a very time-consuming, not even if you provide the funding, it's very time-consuming for a captain to be dedicated to train the new volunteers. I'll just give you just a brief overview. Literally 1/3 of our department is on probation right now. And we just had a captain's meeting last month where the captains have said, we're getting tired. They're going through every day to provide the training for the brand new folks that we bring on board who have no fire experience. I can't imagine us trying to do double that work by bringing more volunteers on. So there comes a point of saturation, if you will, of not enough experience, and and too few people who do have the experience of providing that training.
It's interesting, we learned at the coffee on Saturday that we hire paramedics and then train them to be firefighters. So there's not necessarily any firefighter experience when we're hiring, but it's difficult. I'm just curious, does the MOU allow for what Councilmember Tovar is suggesting?
The paid call program?
Yeah.
I'd have to research that. It's been a while since I've looked at that.
It doesn't. But, yeah,
I doubt it would.
Yeah, I doubt it would.
Yeah. We don't want to replace.
It's a great program. It's a great feeder program to bring in local people who have an interest in the fire service.
Yeah.
But it isn't without its startup costs, because you're going to need to supply them with the equipment, the PPE, and certainly the training. And talking to other jurisdictions that have similar programs, they say it's very labor intensive. And on top of that, and I'm not knocking any generation or anything like that, but the interest in being volunteers has waned over the years.
Yeah.
Now, it might be different here in Gilroy. We haven't offered it, but I'm just basing that on other jurisdictions to the north of us.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'd like to go to public comment. No public comment. Okay, then closing public comment and coming back to council. Is anybody ready to make a motion on this item?
So moved. I'll
Second. Oh, go ahead.
Okay, so I heard a motion by Councilmember Armendariz, right?
Yes.
And then who's taking the second?
I'll take it.
Okay, Councilmember Marks is the second, and this is to adopt a resolution amending the operating budget for the fire department's overtime budget for fiscal year 24 by $350,000 and transferring $200,000 from the capital projects fund allocated to the modular fire station to the general fund for fire overtime expenditures.
We should probably add to receive the report too, which is part of it.
And to receive the report,
This will be
okay?
a roll call vote.
Councilmember Bracco?
Yes.
Councilmember Armendariz?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Marks?
Yes.
Councilmember Hilton?
Aye.
Councilmember Klein?
Yes.
Councilmember Tovar?
Yes.
Mayor Blankley?
Yes, all right, that passed unanimously. Okay, at this point, we need to...
Thank you, council. Appreciate it.
We need to adjourn to the meeting of the Gilroy Public Facilities Financing Authority. Andy, is there something more formal I'm supposed to do there?
No, it's outlined on the agenda. We just open that meeting, then we close that and come back to this meeting.
Okay, do I need to announce times?
It would help.
Okay, so adjourning at 7:07 p.m. and opening at 7:07 p.m., the Gilroy Public Facilities Financing Authority.
It's not closed session, right?
No,
not
this is
yet.
not closed session.
Yeah.
Okay?
This is the other public agency
Yeah.
that you also
Right.
are.
Yeah, I just
Okay,
think
so
some members of the public might think it's closed session.
Okay. Call to order. I'm calling the meeting to order I said that at 7:07. All right, roll call.
Board Member Armendariz?
Here.
Board Member Bracco?
Here.
Board Member Klein?
Here.
Board Member Hilton?
Here.
Board Member Marks?
Here.
Board Member Tovar?
Here.
Chair Blankley?
Here. Okay, in the consent calendar, do we have any, I asked for public comment, do I not?
Yes.
But there are none. Okay, no public comment. So closing public comment, need a motion to approve the consent calendar? There are 2 items. on it?
Second.
Okay, moved by Councilmember Bracco and seconded by Mayor Pro Tem Marks.
Board Member Armendariz?
Yes.
Board Member Bracco?
Yes.
Board Member Klein?
Yes.
Board Member Hilton?
Aye.
Board Member Marks?
Yes.
Board Member Tovar?
Yes.
Chair Blankley?
Yes, all right, that was unanimous.
And now you simply announce adjourning. We are adjourning back to the meeting of the city council.
Okay, so it is 7:08 p.m. and we're adjourning to the meeting of the Gilroy City Council. That brings us to item 15 on the Gilroy City Council agenda, which is future council-initiated items.
I have something there.
Under future council-initiated items?
Yeah.
So we have a policy now for that. Did you go through the policy?
I don't think that policy could
It's
apply
not-
to this meeting.
Not applying.
It can't?
It would apply to the
No.
next one.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
I read the agenda. It didn't seem like it would. It just, given what happened at the school, I'd like to see if we could have a town hall meeting with our police department and our Gilroy Unified School District to discuss, what the public is asking of us. What's the plan? How do we prevent this stuff from happening again? What's on the books right now? I'd like to propose a town hall.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Are we talking about a study
Because-
session or an agenda item to discuss, or are you suggesting that?
Because that's not something for this council
Right.
agenda. You're asking.
We can call for a town hall as a council. Because a study session, I know the amount of public comment can be limited, right? And I think the structures we've used in the past have stifled public comment during study sessions. So I'd like us to have something where we can emphasize and encourage public comment and discussion. So that's why I would stay away from a study session. But something jointly with Gilroy Unified and our police department, I think would be good.
Yeah, I personally would want to see the press release that's going to be released first, because we and the public don't have the information that people are asking for. We had hoped to get one out today, but the school district had more information that they still wanted to give. Because the reason information hasn't been put out yet is absolutely because it would have let people you don't want to know things, before you're trying to get at it. So I think it's premature. Emotions are just strong because, of course, we're all parents up here. But to do something like that, to make it more formal, I personally think we should leave it to the school district to determine if they what they want to hold. I know they have already held a town hall. If they want to do another one and have the police chief there, I doubt seriously we would have any problem having the police chief attend. But that's my position on it. I just don't think it's something that rises to the city council stepping in place of the school board. It does involve our police department. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think it's a community-wide issue, and so that's why I would ask that we, participate as well.
So it's been asked. Again, we can't talk about a lot of detail, and that's why the policy was put in, so that we wouldn't be put in these positions that we are. So who is supporting what Councilmember Armendariz is asking?
Well, I like the idea, but I don't know if it's in our purview. I think the school district has to take the lead on it. We definitely would come in as support, and we would do a town hall. It would have to be at some, a larger facility. I think it's just a little premature, right now. But I like your idea, and I would support it. But I think it should be handled in a different manner.
Okay, so there are 3 people who supported what she was asking.
Councilmember Armendariz, thank you for that. Depending on where this goes, I've actually reached out to some school board members. If it doesn't pass, if you and I want to work together with them, and we can do our own if you like. Just something to think about. If it doesn't pass.
I just think it merits the council's attention.
Yeah. No, I agree, but I'm saying if not, then let's support us.
Yeah. Okay, so it fails to be something for the agenda. Okay. 16, City Administrator's reports.
Yes, Madam Mayor, just one quick report. I attended the State of the Valley that was produced by Joint Venture Silicon Valley last Friday with our Economic Development Manager, Victoria Valencia. It's the first time I had ever been, and I'm going to actually include the slides from that presentation on your council correspondence for next meeting, but it was really I can't sit still for 3 hours, let alone 30 minutes, and that was a very impressive information and learning a lot about the Bay Area, the people, the economics, the community and sustainability, job movement, what has gone on in the last few years with the whole region. And so I highly encourage you to look at those slides, and next year perhaps the City of Gilroy will sponsor a table and we can get some of our electeds there, because it is really quite impressive. Great use of time. That concludes my report. Thank you.
Okay.
Can I ask Jimmy? Jimmy, thank you for that. If you recall, last council meeting, I had asked, and you were going to give us an update. I want to know if you have an update, why Fifth Street does not have lighting like the rest of our streets downtown.
I can send council an update on that item. I don't have that information.
Okay.
Okay, city attorney's reports?
I have no report, but I have a lot of closed session items to.
All right, take us in.
Go to that. There are
Yep.
4 separate closed session items. The first one, 18.1, is a real estate item, conference with real property negotiators pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.8, Gilroy City Code 17A8. The properties are the 10th Street Bridge, Thomas Lucchesa Bridge, new fire station. The APNs are given on the agenda. Negotiators Jimmy Forbes and John M. Felice and Glen Loma Corporation, and under negotiation are price and terms of payment. Then there are 2 litigation closed sessions pursuant to Government Code 54956.9, Gilroy City Code 17A113A. The first case is Timothy Gavin versus City of Gilroy, Superior Court Case 24CV 428673, petition for writ of mandamus filed January 5 of this year. The second one are actually 2 combined cases. City of Gilroy versus Superior Court. The respondents, the Law Foundation of Silicon Valley, is one case. The second one is Law Foundation versus Superior Court, and the city is a respondent. These are Cal Supreme Court cases S282937 and S282950, originally filed January 22nd, 2020. The final closed session is another real property negotiation pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.8, Gilroy City Code 17A8. And the property is Gilroy Gardens Theme Park, 3050 Hecker Pass Highway. The APNs are given on the agenda. Negotiators Jimmy Forbes and Victoria Valencia. The other party is Gilroy Gardens Family Theme Park, LLC. Under negotiations, price and terms of payment for sale or lease. So we have to do several things. The first thing is to ask for public comment on any of these items.
No public comment.
Okay. Then secondly, under our own statutes, our own ordinances, as city attorney, I have to advise you, and I am hereby advising you with respect to the 2 litigation matters, that to consider them in closed session would unavoidably prejudice the legal position of the city, and therefore we recommend that they be discussed in closed session. We now need to take a vote to go into closed session on the 2 litigation matters.
Okay. We all vote to go into closed session? Yes?
The vote is unanimous, 7-0 to go into closed session. Once we go into closed session, we need to take another vote to stay in closed session on the 2 real estate matters, and that will be a reportable action. That concludes the
Okay.
presentation.
Thank you.
To begin with here.
Okay, so if everybody could please turn everything off.